My spirit speaks in ways the noise cannot imitate, through the gentle movements of grace that stir your soul when you least expect it. You were created to hear me. My voice was woven into the rhythm of your being from the very beginning. Before you spoke your first word, I was speaking over you, words of life, identity, and belonging. But as the years pass and the world grows louder, my whisper can feel harder to discern. Yet I have not grown silent. I am still speaking, still guiding, still surrounding you with signs of my care. Every day I am drawing you toward the life I designed for you, leading you by the quiet currents of my spirit. To hear me is not a skill to master. It is a relationship to rest in. You will find me in the small moments. When your heart feels an unexpected peace after prayer, that is my spirit reassuring you that I am near. When you sense a quiet warning to wait or turn away from something that feels wrong, that is my hand of protection. When compassion rises in you for another's pain, that is my heart beating within yours. I move not only through miracles but through the ordinary. My guidance is not always a flash of lightning or a sudden revelation. Often it is the soft tug in your spirit, the thought that aligns with love, the nudge that draws you toward truth. But to perceive these movements, you must give me room to speak. The noise of anxiety can drown out my whisper. The constant rushing from one thing to another can make you forget that I am walking beside you. So I invite you, slow down. Create sacred pauses in your day where you simply sit with me. You do not need perfect words. You need only presence. Let silence become your prayer. In that stillness, my spirit will begin to speak, not always with words, but with awareness, clarity, and calm. The world says, do more. I say, be still and know that I am God. There will be times when my spirit guides you in ways that seem uncertain. You may not always see where the next step leads, but trust that I am already there, preparing the path before you. Obedience is not about understanding everything. It is about trusting the one who knows everything. When I lead you to forgive, even when forgiveness feels impossible, it is because I want to set you free. When I urge you to release something you've been holding tightly, it is because I have something better to place in your hands. Every movement of my spirit is motivated by love, never by punishment or fear. You may ask, Lord, how do I know it is you? You will know because my peace accompanies my voice. Confusion brings chaos, but my spirit brings stillness. Fear demands, I invite. Guilt shames, I restore. The difference between the voice of the world and the whisper of my spirit is this. My voice always leads you toward hope, compassion, and freedom. If the thought before you carries peace, if it draws you closer to love, if it aligns with the goodness you see in my word, then it is my spirit moving within you. Learn to trust the fruit, not just the feeling. There is no age or stage of life where you can no longer hear me. In fact, as you grow older and the world's noise begins to fade, you may find it easier to sense my nearness. The wisdom of your years has trained your soul to recognize what truly matters. The quick impulses that once ruled your youth give way to deeper listening. This is a holy gift. You now have the space to sit with me more often, to notice my whispers in the wind, my comfort in the quiet, my direction in the calm. You are not forgotten in this season. You are being drawn closer to the rhythm of my spirit. Sometimes my spirit will speak through memory. A song, a verse, a moment from long ago may return to your mind, not by coincidence, but by my design. I use remembrance as a language of guidance, bringing to light what you need for this moment. Other times I speak through people. A simple conversation may carry my encouragement, a word of truth you didn't know you needed. And sometimes I speak through circumstances, opening one door, closing another, shifting your path with gentle precision. Pay attention, not with suspicion, but with trust. I am orchestrating more than you can see. I do not rush you to understand my movements. I am patient with your process. There will be moments when you misinterpret my direction or feel uncertain about what I am asking. Do not be afraid of making mistakes in your pursuit of me. Even when you step the wrong way, I know how to redirect your path. My spirit is not a strict instructor waiting to correct you. I am the loving companion who walks beside you, guiding with grace. I am more interested in your heart's desire to follow than your ability to get everything right. When you wander, I whisper you back. When you doubt, I remind you who I am. Let this truth settle in you. My spirit is never far. The same power that raised Christ from the dead dwells in you. You are not empty. You are filled with divine life. You do not need to chase spiritual experiences to feel close to me. You carry my presence within you. I move in your thoughts, in your emotions, in your compassion, in your prayers. The more you align your heart with mine, the more easily you will recognize my movement. You are learning not just to hear me, but to live in rhythm with me. So listen, beloved. Listen when your heart stirs at the sound of truth. Listen when compassion interrupts your routine. Listen when peace remains even though circumstances haven't changed. That is my spirit affirming that I am in control. I am always speaking, not to confuse or control you, but to guide you toward wholeness. My words are not demands. They are invitations. Invitations to love, to forgiveness, to peace, to purpose. And every time you respond, you grow more attuned to the melody of heaven that plays within you. The more you listen, the clearer you will hear. The clearer you hear, the more you will trust. And as trust deepens, you will find that following me is not a burden, but a joy. The joy of walking in step with the Spirit who loves you more than you can comprehend. This is the life I designed for you. Not one of confusion or striving, but of calm assurance that you are being led by divine love. So come, walk with me. Listen not with your ears alone, but with your heart. My spirit is moving, gently, faithfully, always toward your good. And as you learn to listen, you will find that every step, every breath, and every moment is already infused with my presence. My beloved, when I place my hands upon your life, it is never to diminish you. It is to shape you, to form you into something that reflects the beauty I placed within you from the very beginning. I do not mold you as a potter crushes clay. I shape you as an artist reveals hidden form. My shaping is not a loss of self, but the unveiling of who you have always been in my sight. Every touch, every season, every trial and blessing, all are strokes of my loving craftsmanship. You are not being reduced. You are being refined. Many look at change with fear, thinking it means they must give up too much, their comfort, their control, their identity. But transformation in my hands is never destruction. It is completion. The parts of you that feel broken are not discarded. They are reimagined by grace. The weaknesses you see as failures are the very spaces through which my strength flows most clearly. I do not erase your story. I redeem it. I do not remove your personality. I restore it to its purest reflection of love. You do not lose yourself when you yield to me. You find yourself, finally whole, finally free. I have been shaping you from the moment you first drew breath. The laughter that once filled your youth, the tears that marked your middle years, the quiet wisdom of your later days. All have been threads in the tapestry of my design. You are not unfinished because of your age. You are the masterpiece still in process. My hands are not done working in you. As long as you breathe, I am still creating, still molding your heart to hold more compassion, more peace, more heaven within you. Do not think the fire of transformation is punishment. The flame only burns away what cannot carry eternal beauty. What remains is radiant. When life changes and familiar things fall away, your routines, your roles, the people you once leaned upon, do not see it as loss alone. Sometimes I must clear what is comfortable so that you may grow into what is eternal. You have held tightly to many things in your journey, some out of love, some out of fear. But when I ask you to release, it is never to leave you empty. It is to fill you anew. The pruning may sting, but it is the sign that fruit is coming. The surrender you offer me becomes the soil where new joy will take root. You have prayed for me to make you more like Christ, and I have heard you. But to be shaped in his likeness is not only to share his peace, it is to share his patience, his humility, his willingness to trust the Father, even when the road is uncertain. My child, when you walk through difficulty and do not understand, remember, I am shaping in you a heart that mirrors mine. I am teaching you to love without condition, to forgive without hesitation, to hope without proof. These are not lessons of loss, but of divine expansion. You are becoming more capable of carrying my glory. When I shape you, I do not rush. The process of holiness takes time. You live in a world that values speed and instant answers, but my kingdom works in seasons. Just as the seed must rest in darkness before it breaks open with life, so must your soul pass through moments of stillness, waiting, and unknowing. In those hidden seasons, you may feel unseen or unfinished, but that is when my hands are closest, pressing gently, forming, refining the inner substance of who you are. What you call delay, I call design. Do not despise the marks of my shaping, the cracks in your story, the scars you carry, the lessons learned through pain. They are not flaws. They are sacred inscriptions of grace. Each one tells a story of how my faithfulness met your weakness and turned it into beauty. You may see imperfection. I see evidence of intimacy. You are not a vessel to be polished into perfection. You are a vessel meant to pour out my love. And sometimes the light of my glory shines most clearly through the cracks the world calls broken. There are times when you resist my shaping, fearing what you might lose if you let go. I understand that fear, for I shape the very heart that feels it. But I promise you, whatever you surrender into my hands, I return multiplied in peace. When you yield your worries, I shape them into wisdom. When you release your plans, I shape them into purpose. When you offer me your pain, I shape it into compassion that can heal others. This is what my love does. It transforms. Nothing you entrust to me is ever wasted. You may look at the years behind you and think your shaping should be complete by now. But, beloved, spiritual growth does not end with youth. The later chapters of your life are not footnotes. They are the deeper parts of the story where faith becomes real, where trust is tested and proven. I am shaping you still, not because you are unfinished in failure, but because you are still expanding in love. The more you walk with me, the more your heart reflects my character. The journey of becoming does not stop until you stand in my presence face to face. Let me remind you, you are safe in my hands. The world may misunderstand what I am doing. Even you may question it. But my shaping is never random. I know the contours of your soul, where to press gently, where to smooth, where to strengthen. My hands have never failed. They formed the stars, steadied the seas, and held the cross for your redemption. Those same hands now shape you with infinite care. Trust me when you cannot see what I am making. The final masterpiece will bear my likeness and your joy intertwined. When you wake each morning, do not ask, "What must I do to please God today?" Instead, whisper, "Lord, how are you shaping me today?" Let each moment become clay in my hands. Let every act of kindness, every breath of gratitude, every moment of patience become part of the forming. You are not being diminished by time. You are being refined by eternity. The outer shell may grow weaker, but the spirit within you shines stronger with every passing day. You are becoming light, my light, reflected through a life surrendered. And when your journey here is complete, you will see what I have been shaping all along. Every trial that once confused you will make sense. Every tear will reveal its purpose. You will realize that I never took anything from you that I did not replace with something far greater. You will behold the full beauty of what my hands have made, not just in you, but through you. Then you will understand. You were never being reduced. You were being prepared for glory. So rest, beloved, in the shaping. Trust the touch of your Creator. My hands do not harm. They heal. They do not diminish. They define. You are my craftsmanship, my delight, my ongoing creation, and everything I shape in love. My beloved child, you have carried many weights through the years, burdens of loss, regret, disappointment, and the quiet ache of unanswered prayers. I have seen every tear that fell in the dark, every sigh that went unnoticed by others. I have felt the heaviness that sometimes sits upon your heart when life seems more than you can bear. Yet hear me now. Not one of those burdens has been wasted. What felt like breaking was shaping. What felt like loss was planting. I have been working beauty within your sorrow, even when you could not yet see its bloom. When you walk through seasons of pain, it is easy to believe I have turned away. But child, I never step back. I draw nearer. I do not observe your suffering from a distance. I enter it with you. I was there in every hospital room, every sleepless night, every silent prayer that seemed to echo unanswered. My presence wrapped around you like breath around flame, keeping hope alive even when it flickered low. You may not have felt me, but I was carrying you. You did not collapse under the weight because my arms were beneath you, unseen but strong. The burdens you carry are not signs of my displeasure. They are invitations to deeper communion. The road of faith was never meant to be smooth but sacred, filled with moments that stretch your trust and reveal your dependence on me. You are not being punished by difficulty. You are being refined by grace. For in every hardship, there is a hidden work taking place, roots of endurance growing deeper, compassion stretching wider, and faith learning to stand when understanding fails. You are not being crushed, you are being cultivated. I know that pain can make you question my goodness. When you cannot see the reason, you may whisper, "Why, Lord?" And though I do not always answer with explanation, I always answer with presence. My reply to your suffering is not a speech. It is myself. I come to you as comfort in the dark, as strength when you are weak, as peace that surpasses reason. I do not promise that you will never weep, but I promise that your tears will never fall in vain. Each one waters the seeds of beauty I am growing in the soil of your sorrow. Look back, my child, and see the pattern of redemption I have already woven through your story. The pain you thought would destroy you became the very place where you discovered resilience. The loss that hollowed you out became the space where compassion grew. The unanswered prayer taught you to lean not on what you can control, but on who I am. Every burden has carried a hidden blessing, every trial a quiet revelation. What the world calls tragedy, I use as transformation. Nothing is wasted in the hands of the one who makes all things new. There is beauty in burden because burden draws you to me. When life feels light and easy, your eyes can drift toward your own strength. But in the weight of struggle, you remember your need. And in that remembrance, you find the doorway to my heart. Dependence is not weakness. It is the language of heaven. When you let me carry what you cannot, you enter the rhythm of grace, where your spirit breathes again. I never meant for you to shoulder life alone. Every time you release your burden into my hands, you make room for resurrection. There will be times when the beauty is not visible yet. You will walk through seasons of silence where prayers seem unanswered, where losses feel final, where grief sits heavy like fog. But even then, I am working. The seed does not grow while it lies in sunlight, but in the darkness of the soil. In the same way, the transformation of your heart often takes place in hidden places. Trust that what feels buried is actually beginning to rise. The delay is not denial. It is development. I am creating something enduring within you, beauty that is not surface deep but eternal. You have learned to carry many things, responsibilities, memories, even people's pain. But beloved, I did not create you to be the savior. There is only one, and he has already borne the heaviest weight. When the load becomes too much, let it be your cue to place it down at my feet. You honor me more by surrendering than by striving. Faith does not mean pretending the weight doesn't hurt. It means trusting that you don't have to carry it alone. Bring me your sorrow, your fear, your guilt, your fatigue. Let me transform what is heavy into what is holy. When you let me carry your burdens, you make room for joy to return. Not the fleeting joy that depends on circumstances, but the quiet joy that flows from trust, the joy that sings even through tears, because it knows I am near. This is the beauty hidden in burden. It opens the heart to joy that cannot be taken away. The very things that once threatened to break you become the vessels that pour my presence into your life. You begin to see that the cross was never just a symbol of suffering, but of redemption. What looks like defeat becomes doorway, and when others come to you heavy-laden, you will speak not from theory but from testimony. Your compassion will carry the fragrance of grace, because you have walked through the valley yourself. You will comfort with the same comfort you received from me. You will see how your pain became ministry, how your burden became blessing. The weight you carried will now lift others. This is how I turn mourning into dancing. Not by erasing the past, but by redeeming it. Even now I am weaving together the threads of your life, the bright ones and the dark, into a tapestry of glory. What looks tangled from where you stand will one day reveal perfect symmetry when you see it from eternity's side. Every burden will have its place in the pattern. Every tear will shine like a jewel of compassion. You will see how I took every sorrow and shaped it into something beautiful. You will say, "He was with me all along, and even my pain became praise." So rest, my child. You do not need to understand everything to trust me. I am not finished yet, and neither are you. The weight you feel today is not the end of your story. It is the press of my hands, shaping resurrection within you. In time, you will look back and see how what once hurt the most became the place where my glory shone brightest. The burden will become blessing. The ashes will become beauty. And when at last your journey on this earth is complete, you will lay every remaining burden down, not in weariness, but in joy. You will see me face to face and realize that every sorrow was leading you here into everlasting peace. The heaviness will lift, the striving will cease, and beauty will surround you completely. For in my kingdom, nothing carried in faith is ever lost. It is all transformed into glory. So, my beloved, take heart. The burden you bear is not your end. It is your becoming. Trust the hands that hold you. I am making all things new, even now. And soon, you will see the beauty that was hidden all along, the beauty I was forming in you, through you, and for you.